growth spurt after my sophomore year in high school and really started to gain power and strength. I was a pitcher and a shortstop in high school. I started as a second baseman because before the growth spurt, I couldn't make the throw from third or short. I knew many teams were thinking about drafting me as a pitcher, but even way back then I was hoping to be drafted as an everyday player. I couldn't imagine just playing once every 5 days. When the Baltimore Orioles, my hometown team, which my dad coached for, drafted me in the second round, I was so excited. It was a dream come true. I started my pro career in Bluefield, West Virginia, and I quickly realized that everyone who played professionally was pretty darn good, and that every level would present a whole new set of challenges. At Bluefield, the Orioles had a shortstop named Bob Bonner, who came out of college. He was making plays that had me thinking I would never make it. After some helpful discussions with Dad, I started to make gains and continued to improve and move up the ladder. I really started to think that the big leagues could be a possibility when I played in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I made the All-Star team, and we won the Southern League Championship. The next spring, I attended spring training with the Orioles and ended up at AAA Rochester, where I played most of the season and even played in the longest game in history, 33 innings. August 7th, 1981, was the day I was called up to the big leagues. Dad was a coach with the team, and Earl Weaver was the manager. It was a dream come true. Even better, a few years later, I played with my brother Bill, and Dad was the manager. It was one of those things that we knew was special at the time, but I always wished we embraced it a little more when it was happening. Bill and I had our dad around, so we could ask him questions and rely on him in a special way, and we had each other for support and friendship throughout the season. One funny thing that came out of having my dad in the same locker room was when I made the mistake of actually calling him Dad in front of my teammates. Man, I took some heat for that, and I made sure it didn't happen again. There are also the rare times when being in a baseball family makes things more challenging. When Dad was fired as Orioles manager, it hit us hard, and we were angry. We believed, and still do, that he didn't get the opportunity that he deserved. It took us some time to come to grips with the situation. Ultimately, I knew that I wanted to continue to play for my hometown team, but those were difficult days. Dad didn't return to an Orioles game after that until the night of September 6th, 1995, when I played in my 2,131st consecutive game. When the game was halted for a celebration in the middle of the fifth inning as it became official, I looked up to the suite where Mom and Dad were watching, and he and I locked eyes. 1,000,000 words were shared without a word being spoken. It capsulized our lifetime through the game of baseball. That's a glimpse into my story. I think you will enjoy reading the personal accounts of growing up in the world of baseball that 18 of my fellow sons of professional players, managers, and coaches tell in the following chapters. For each of us, it certainly was a unique childhood. Welcome to our world. Acknowledgements. The existence of this book is tangible proof of the power of networking, as I did not know a single son of baseball when I began the project in January 2021. And so challenge number 1 was to figure out how, or even if, I could connect with the people whose stories are collected in this audiobook. I began by sending a dozen or so emails to people I thought might, emphasis on might, know a son of baseball, not likely, or someone who could connect me with someone who knows a baseball son. Maybe. The first person to respond favorably was David Newman, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing, Content, and Communications Officer for the New York Mets. David and I met many years ago,